So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to vibe code. Now, if you don't know what vibe coding is, that is when you build things with AI. Now, I'm not using Lovable or Bolt or some kind of other developing, building related tool. I'm using Claude. Claude I use pretty much for everything, including vibe coding, because it's really good. It works really good for building some cool functional stuff. Now, within our university, we do have access to specific return on investment calculators based on the specific AI you're selling, which you can vibe code around with, and I'll leave that for another video and more information in the university. And again, this video is to teach you kind of how to play around with vibe coding, how to be comfortable with it. But the reality is there's another area for learning, like, what funnel is what, how to differentiate between different funnels, when to use them, why to use them. So in this video, I'm just going to show you how we're going to use an existing template that I've built for other businesses and how we can just play around with to create a new vibe, I guess. So I'm not going to do too crazy changes. I'm not going to create nothing new from scratch because you won't really have to either, but just so you can see how it's done, because then you'll be able to catch on really quickly. But again, we build this for pretty much every kind of funnel or site we have. So this not only allows you to build, launch, and change different funnels with your copy and your images for your ads in a record time. It stops you having to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for other people to build them for you. And it also means you can sell like funnel building and website building yourself, where you can very easily build some very beautiful looking websites or funnels in pretty much record time. So without further ado, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to make some small changes to the broad funnel that we have. It's a very popular funnel, and this is because it's just built quite specifically to be broad. Everyone can use it. But it does mean that you can use one of these templates to make it way more specific, way more niche, way more focused on whatever you're selling as an agency. In this video, I will be building a funnel for Go High Level University, as we are one of their white label partners. They use us for everything when it comes to funnels, automations, and AI, especially with AI. So yeah, I'm killing two birds with one stone by building demo funnel whilst you're watching. So I'm just going to show you more of like my process, okay? So they specifically wanted the broad funnel, but they didn't submit any branding. So if you have a business that doesn't submit branding, you can just go over and just kind of find their colors, right? So you can see here, they have like this dark blue, more of a lighter blue, and white. That usually the main kind of stuff there. They also have this logo. I'm not sure they're using this logo for this funnel, so I'll leave it actually for the time being. Now what we'll do is go to Canva, and I'm just going to be very old school. That's probably their way of doing it, but it's my way of doing it. I just get the blocks. So let's go quickly color grab, and I'll show you what's important in a second. So that's going to be background, accent, and then obviously I don't need a square. It's just white for text. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to grab Claude, and yeah. When you want to use an image, you'll want to add your image to the media library of your sub account, and then copy the link. There'll be a link, and you can give the Claude the link. So I'll show you what I mean. Media storage, so I can just click the get link, that's the logo, and then go back to sites. Now for the sake of this, I'm just going to go ahead and clone the broad funnel for GHLU and let that document. In the meantime, I now need to tell the AI quickly what the color is. I am going to provide you with code of a website. Your job is to rebrand and reposition when necessary. Now in theory, there's two ways we can look at this. For an agency, I think is they sell to both agencies and services. Again, they've used the other funnel, so I think I'll keep the funnel the same, but when I'm thinking about context. The copy that is on the website right now is more based for service businesses, not agencies. But I think equally an agency will find value in seeing that funnel live. So I think I'm going to leave it as it is, but just focus on the branding. So instead, I'll just give it the colors. The colors are as follows. Let's get the color code. Is the background color, and how they're using this. Yeah, it's more like is their accent color tends to be used to highlight a core word, or when is it in title, actually using white and blue. It's mainly blue, okay, or used as a button with white copy. Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, that's it. And now what we do, and again with you can change the tone. In this actual document. There's a bit more like background information in terms of like what steps you want to take before. But let me just jump straight into more of the vibe coding, because if you ever want to change your calendar, change a word, wherever it may be, you'll know exactly how to do that just by vibe coding it. So if we go into the funnel, let's say we find the clone, more often than not, you'll see a lot of code. Now it's really important not to be freaked out by all this code, because that does it for you. So if I look at this is a script, okay? So if you see here, this is the script. Now, you can easily, change that to whatever you want. Let me just actually check now. Their name, it's AI, their sub-brand is the name. So now, let's say I give it each piece of code. This specific code here, that you just saw popping up here, is this script. This script was made to kind of give it a social proof. So you'll see here, it gives a bit of a FOMO. So what I can actually do is if I go into here, I can now give it context like what to do next. The first section of code I need you to change is enter. For context, AI gives training and support to set up agencies or businesses to grow. I can then say in the script, I want you to not specify what business signs up. Simply use first name signed up to AIF in Y state of US Z time ago. So what you see is it's going to start vibe coding the whole thing again. And then all I need to do is simply check it, copy and paste the code back into high level, and when necessary, I can go and edit the code until I'm happy with it. So you'll see here, the states it's going to mention, so the states of the US, different first names, and again, you can be as specific as you want. I'm just going to write this all out. Sometimes it will do something that you just don't want it to do. So let's say it will start saying like, oh, maybe the niche that this person's in, and I'll be like, I didn't want you to mention a niche, and so I just go back into Claude and say, this is great, but can you remove the niche? I think that's now done. It's a dark. However, what I'm kind of worried about is that is going to be dark and a dark background. So I think what we need to do, the background of the site is, so we need to ensure it stands out. I would recommend we use white background with dark blue copy instead, for example. And now what it's going to do is it's going to change it so that it then matches it. Usually I would kind of do this after I built the rest of the code, so the AI knows. But it's just going to do that quick change, and then we're going to put that back in, and then we can get more into the assistant stuff itself. So wait for it. But you'll see, like, if you're looking to build a website from scratch, the best way is to like ask it to build like a rough overview, and then start picking bits out. And you can say, in this section, can you separate this section of code? Let's say it's like an about us section. When you separate that section of code out, it means it's easier to like personalize in the prompting of Claude. So when I built this from scratch, I literally built like one component at a time. But once I had like a strong foundation, it was really easy for me to build. So if you're, for example, doing MedSpa and you're also going to build funnels for MedSpa, you can vibe code like 3, 4, 5 good, snapshotable funnels for like different services, and then you can rebrand them and white label them very quickly using a vibe coding technique. Like, super cool. So let's go in here and we're going to just go ahead and copy paste it. So you see when I do this and save it, there you go. Perfect. Now we're going to aim for this top section. Again, just thinking of like context of what they're doing. There's this more like, I guess the thing is, again, I know they want this one, so I think I'll stick exactly with this, but just brand it theirs. Instead of saying replace your receptionist with AI, I can just be like, make more money with AI. But then again, that would change all the copy, to be honest. You know what? I think this one works for now, it's fine. So let's go in here. Now this is the top section. You will see here, there's a bit of code that says voice orb. Now in this, you just take your account ID, so your sub-account ID of GHL, and then you take your AI assistant ID, which is in the echo set side. So you can just, but again, you don't have to do it yourself. You can just take this code and put it in Claude and just say like, for example, I'll do it now for you. So it takes code. Now, so, let's say I did have a specific sub account for this, which I do. Assistant ID, I can just say assistant ID equals X, sub account ID equals Y, and update branding, and it'll do it for you. For this use case, I'm just going to do the branding. Take this code, but update branding as I discussed. I'm not sure what font they're using. It's like a heavy area or something, but I'm not too sure. But anyway, we'll just show you how this works. And now I'll go ahead and build it. And so here you go. It's actually taken the context of what I gave it about educating agencies and pretty much nailed the copy spot on. The one thing I really don't like, it might just be on this. No, okay, it's fine. That is pretty perfect. How's it look on mobile? It looks nice. You can't see the orb because it's not on high level. That will actually work on high level. To be honest, again, if you wanted to change the copy here and say like transfer your business, stop struggling to scale agency here, I can literally make that like broad. Instead of using agency, can we use a broader term as both agencies and service businesses, owners who want to work less on ops side and focus on their service? Use this. Yeah, ensure the same with other areas of this specific snippet of code. And it's going to go ahead and then change that as well. So these are your copy areas. Okay, so this is looking pretty sick. A bit more broad, just a general focus on training on building how to use AI, right? It's basically what I'm doing. I said this is a white label partner of EchoSer. So I like this. I'm going to go ahead and copy this and stick this in here. So you see now the glories of templates and the glories of, and in the, not just the glory, but the importance of productizing and systematizing your work. So as I said, you can pretty much, with good planning, do the same thing for a med spa, a nail salon, real estate, solar. You could build a bunch of vibe coded funnels for them to gather leads specifically for their use case, and then you could sell that to them as a lead magnet because it takes you 10, 20, 30 minutes to build for them, but their value is massive. Just as the same as, for example, high level university use us to do the same thing for agencies, and why people use me is that I can get work done super quick so they can actually focus on building their business. So now if we look at what this looks like, I think there's a bit of darkness. I think that's coming from some back-end CSS. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. That's it. That was nice. Run your business on. Yeah, this is. And then this is obviously the AI prompting area where we can set qualifying questions and do that kind of stuff. That's in a separate video, but that would just be for like qualifying businesses if they're a business for their agency, and then we'll set them into the appointment, and then this will go, it doesn't right now because I've not linked it, but this will go to a page 2 to book an appointment. The next is the make AI call. There's a few things specifically for the make AI call that if you're using this specific type of template that you'll need to think about, and I'll just go through them quickly. Let me just go through the code. You will see, and I'll probably make a document so it's easier for you guys. There's a webhook, and I will make an actual specific technical video for this, but there's a webhook that needs to be changed in high level, and also the number that goes into it. So you see a placeholder. There's a bunch of things that needs to be changed. But in the technical implementation part of the EchoSet University, I'll show you exactly how to change that, but point being, if you give it the number and the webhook, it will do it for you, but I'll go again into that in more detail later. Just for this use case, until I have got their number, I'm just going to go ahead, run this, update this to. Now I can literally get to a point where I can literally just say update this to. It already knows what it's doing. So that's what I'm saying. As an agency owner, or even as a business owner, using our templates, you can literally launch every offer. Like this kind of funnel, an ROI funnel, an ROI funnel on receptionists, reactivation, speed to lead. You have all the assets done for you where you can literally just run traffic, reiterate and learn to just get clients. And obviously when you do get the clients, if you use our grey label onboarding process, which you can white label as well, that then gets submitted to us for us to build for you. So there's nothing really else for you to do. So let's wait for this to be made and we'll carry on. Okay, so we've now made this widget. So we're going to go ahead, jump in, replace it. Now there is other, by the way, I'm just showing you how like vibe coding works, because actually I'm not really showing you how to vibe code from scratch, because 9 times out of 10, if there's something that's in really high demand, we'll just build it for you. There is technical elements to tweak on the back end to make these widgets work, but that is in another video. Just showing you how powerful vibe coding is and the speed you can do it on Claude, and how it's actually functional. Like you can use like webhooks and everything to make calculators using funnels. And again, the really exciting thing is you can build stuff for service-based businesses using the exact same method to build, funnels for anything. So now we've done this, let's go ahead and save over here and check out what this now is starting to look like. Go ahead. Starts to look pretty sick, huh? And now we go ahead and you can start to understand how quickly we now build this. Go over, just say this. Go over and we start the next one, and you'll see how easy it starts to begin with. So when it comes to launching your offer, you are going to have all the assets, every offer that can be pretty much created under the sun, and you just need to use our templates, use our documentation, use our university to just iterate your offers, test, because that's the only thing you have to do. As I said before, once you get the fulfillment side of things, we can take care of that for you, cheaper than hiring an in-house team. And once again, we've got our new part, which is specifically targeting the pain points of needing us for agencies or service businesses, allowing an agency or a service business to focus on what they do best, whether it's getting clients or fulfilling the service they want. So that's kind of what we're selling here. Is that the right one? Yep, that's the right one. Save that. No. The one thing I did realise, I'm pretty sure, like here, this is inconsistent, right? Wait, why is that? Is there some custom CSS here? That's interesting. I think there's some custom CSS in these two. I'll change the rest and let's see what happens afterwards. Now, actually, what I'm going to do is, the owner of GHLU has some case studies. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this. And I'm going to get some case studies from him to input at a later date. And then we'll just change this. Because the case study section can go in here using some testimonials from experience. Because the ones we're using is just placeholders. And then we just have to do the other slides. And I'll kind of show you some things to think about with the other slides, which you'll have to insert your calendar. So I'll just show you how to insert some bits. You can just use iframes. Let's copy this, stick that in. Now, if you had a VSL, like a video about of you talking about what you do, you could go ahead and actually say, look, in this part of the code here, I want my video, and it will do it for you. But here you go, yeah, there you go, let's fix it, done. All we just need now is some nice case studies to go here, and then what I actually do when I get the right logo is I would stick the banner here so it kills that white space. Then, if I just show you in terms of how you would do a calendar quickly, let me just go to the next step. I'm not sure which calendar's which right now. This one. So in this code here, you actually have a iframe. So let me find it. I think it's still a placeholder, I think. Let me check. Yeah, okay, it's still a placeholder. Okay, let me check that. Let me change that. So we're going here. We're going to stick that in here. And then now we're going to go get the calendar. So here you see in front of me, we're in our calendar section. This is a bit technical, but just so you can see in the vibe coding stuff, if you want to play around with it, when it comes to changing your calendar, this is exactly how you would do it. So this is our onboarding calendar for the onboarding. And if I go down, you will see a share button. Now, you want to use a personalized link. It literally said, this typical Go high level bugging. We're going to do the permanent link, ideal for files, websites, redirects, or ads. The permanent link remains consistent, unaffected by slug changes. That's the one you want. So go ahead and copy that, and you're going to say, use this for the placeholder area instead. Now, it's worth noting, when someone books, usually in high level, if you build a high level calendar funnel step, you'll have the ability to go, if someone submits, go to the next step. You cannot do that via vibe coding. So you have to go in and let me go to edit. Where is it? This is what I was trying to remember where you go. There we go. Redirect your URL. So in this, you'll want to send that to your page 3, which is your thank you page. So for example, when someone finishes a booking, let's say you're setting up a service business and you're building this kind of let's say you're running an ad for a free consultation, they go to a funnel, there's a nice beautiful funnel, a VSL, and there's a booking step, so it's filling a form to get this free consultation. They book an appointment with a doctor. Then go to a thank you page, you'll put the URL in here, and the thank you page will then pop up, which can be next steps, what to expect, how to prepare, that kind of thing. Because this is just a demo for you guys, I'm not obviously going to do that, but you'll see here, it's already done. Get the exact blueprint to all your business with pre-built AI's assets in this free session. We'll show you how to. So for them, this is going to be a sales call. So this is actually a booking for a sales call. So instead, focus on showing them how the process works and what they inside. So that was just to tweak the copy, because obviously this is actually for GHLU, so I actually do need to make it a bit specific, because I'm going to be using this for one of their funnels. Okay, so now the pricing, don't really think, this is repeating what I just set up here. That can go, just this whole thing is pointless. Actually, I think this whole thing is pointless. Let's get them to book a call. And then that's going to remove it. So now you can see very quickly, and again, we have loads of templates. I will build a template, so when you are part of the Echo Setter, you will just get a library of templates to go ahead and always be really able to just build things super quickly. Okay, that's done. So go ahead. We need to go back to our funnels. Change this one. That was the that was the widget again. We can just go ahead and chase that from the top. It's still nice to have a bit of social proof on the booking stage. That's version 1. That's version 7. Okay, there you go. Replace that. That was the footer. I can't even remember where that was. Hang on. Provide me with the footer. Go ahead. I think there might be some background things to check. Yep. Let's go check what this looks like now. Okay, so this is interesting. This can happen sometimes. Now, as you see, when I've removed this, right, this code is now providing like a white thing. So what I can do when this happens, if you get some errors like this, you can go ahead and just print screen it. So this is a bit of a debugging run to see how many runs this takes to fix it. But AI is quite good at diagnosing what's going on. Spelling. And so the AI will diagnose, so this is the thing, even if something's not working, you just print screen it or you tell what's going on and then just replace it. I'm just trying to think why that would happen though. It could be this code. It's quite difficult to tell. Let's see. So now what I'm trying to try and do for simplicity is just, because it's quite a small page, is combine all the code with the background fix. And again, like, actually a lot of the times when I'm vibe coding, if I'm doing quite a complex design, I can sometimes run into quite a bit of errors. The best way to fix that error is honestly just run it through. It's a cyclic process, such an annoying word. A repetitive process to go around in circles and just keep going back into the AI and tell what's going on. It will fix it. It's just how many iterations it gets to fix. So let's see if this does the job. Now, I think I should have to remove these two because it's the whole code, but let's just check. Yeah, so that's the other code sitting on top. Let's just remove these. There you go. It hasn't included the footer. And that's now going to go and add the footer to the code. Okay, so just got it to add the footer to the full code. So let's go back in, bang there, done. And that's our second page, okay? So it should be all good. Yep, looks good. Sweet. Now, once you redirect this, you then go to your third page. The third page is where you're going to tell the prospect what to expect on the call. So let's check this. The one reason I like vibe coding most of the time is that GHL blocks I find really slow and you have to like play around with the blocks and it doesn't work on mobile, or it doesn't work on desktop, it just gets quite annoying. Now, with this one, you could do a personalized video. You could use our AI avatar of me to do your video if you don't like talking, to do like a personalized welcome of like what to expect, where it may be. For now, probably remove this, but I think I am going to add one in at a later date. If you do want to add one in, you can just use a YouTube link. So if you upload a video to YouTube or Vimeo or something, just add in the iframe or add that into Claude and to say this is the video I want to use, it will do it for you. For the purpose of this, I'm just going to do it without a video for now. I'll add that in later. So again, there's going to be some CSS here. So let's just save this out. I'm going to feed it this, and I'm going to feed it the footer again. Keep it consistent. And this is the booked call completion stage. Recreate on brand. Because it has context in the past thing I did, I asked it to combine the whole thing, including the footer. It will understand from context of the past conversation what I'm trying to do. So I'll go ahead and do that as well. So now we have that code. It should, fingers crossed, because of the previous error that we fixed, be first time. Let's go ahead, save that, and the moment of truth is checking it, and there we go. Oh, the video is still there. I think I forgot to remove that. Okay, that's not true. So remove personalized video, and it's not accurate to be run. Same day. You know, what's the steps it said? Live AI demo. Then step 4 would be to do onboarding, call, to set up agency or service business with to onboarding call to set up agency. Step 5 would be, you know, we start building your future. Don't imply time. At the end of the day, you know, on top of the A2P and stuff, it can vary. It usually takes like 2 to 3 working weeks. It really depends on the A2P. If the A2P is easy, I'd say 2 weeks. Okay, so now we have the code again. Now, in theory, because of this stuff, you could just change the text format in the code, but I'm just showing you for the sake of this. I could just go ahead and change this and make it my own, but just so you can understand, it is very easy to change things. And here you go. All good to go. Now, obviously, some parts of this funnel, you'll see is like check your email and watch for SMS. That doesn't automatically happen when you build a funnel. There is a technical side to setup. So what I've just shown you is essentially how to build the funnel for, well, anything. Like you can literally use this for anything. As I said, for service businesses, you'll want to start, you know, take their brand. And again, there's going to be a bit more information on the module. Taking their brand colors, getting a wireframe and then going from there. And then I'm going to show you another module, the technical setup for building functional stuff. So like ROI calculators, how that actually pulls in to provide like personalized reports via email, like really cool stuff that people pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for, and most people won't know how to do it, or if they can do it, it'll take them ages to do it. So here you're really getting some fundamental skill sets to provide productized, scalable offers. As I said again, you can now see how I can deliver crazy amounts of funnels for agencies, businesses with a relatively small team, and charge a premium for it. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, and I look forward to seeing you in the next